It is. Oh no, I don't like that one. It is Patty and Kristin in the morning.
Afternoon edition.
Yeah. Welcome everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, Kristin. And there's someone in the green room. Do you want to know who? Mm-hmm. We kind of like her. Nah, we kind of love her. Kind of. So, Kristin, obviously you know who it is. I'm going to bring her up because she's got a short time. She's got to chop and go on this lovely Friday. So, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Kayla Becker.
Hi, friends.
Oh, no, I don't like that. Hi. I want to make you nice and big. I don't know how to do that one.
This is so cool. I feel like I'm on I'm really big now.
Welcome to our show.
Thank you. Fridays with Kristin and Patty. Dun dun dun.
Yeah. Have you ever watched the show Community? No. Okay. See, this is the cool thing. Can we share with you? Because that's what I was like telling Kristin, that it will be important to share with some people what this is all about. So I'm going to do that for you. But how are you, Kayla? While I pull up the video.
I'm doing great. I'm super excited to be here on this very cool live event with you both. I feel like I'm on a game show, as I said, and I love it. And that anytime a buzzer's going to ring and it's like, and now we're going to dun dun dun.
We need a buzzer.
Yeah.
Yes, a buzzer. Oh my goodness. All these ideas piling up. I like it. All right. I have the thing here. Oh no. Can you guys hear me? Woo! Yeah? Okay. Can you guys see the screen that I'm about to share yet?
I see Kayla and you and me.
Oh, that's it? Okay.
Yeah.
Where did I put you guys? Oh, there we are.
And an FYI, I have to leave in about 2 minutes. So I'm gonna buzz myself out here soon.
Yeah. So Kayla,
good.
Yeah. Where are you headed off to?
I'm headed off to teach a yoga class is what I'm doing. So I'm gonna go to the yoga studio and prep and get nice and calm and zen and have a great class. So
yeah.
Journaling and yoga with Kayla Becker.
Dun dun dun, Joyo.
Dun dun dun, Joyo.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about Fridays? This thing is not coming out. We're gonna do it before after you go. So,
okay.
Yeah, you can watch replay and see what it's all about.
Yeah, I will. My favorite aspect of Fridays is that glorious sensation of having a great week and putting in time and effort into things that you really care about, and then knowing that you have this beautiful weekend to rest, and there's this beautiful like conclusion, wrapping up feeling for me on Fridays, and then also like beginning sensation for the weekend ahead.
Yeah. And besides also that on Friday the Youth Developer premieres videos, right?
Yes, that's that's actually the top.
That was good sarcasm, Kayla. You and I could do it. I love it.
Yeah. So thank you for having me on for my first Friday event with you ladies.
Yeah, you are welcome every time. So we're happy to have you. Thank you for joining us from your phone. And it was easy, right? You didn't have to download anything. You were just able to appear in the
I was able to appear like magic.
Like magic. Does your shirt say magic? It does.
It is. Our words are magic.
Yeah,
Kayla's
you know
magic
what?
too.
Are you wearing your Yo-Yo t-shirt, Kayla?
I'm not.
Okay.
Not
okay.
yet. I'm gonna go change into my yoga attire now, and then I'll leave.
Right.
Yeah, we want to do that off camera. Absolutely.
Yes, yes. So much love to you, ladies, and I'll be seeing you soon.
Yeah.
Thanks
Wait,
for
hold
stopping
on.
by. Wait, what?
Are you taking a picture?
Your Instagram.
Oh, yes, at joyo.kayla. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now you may go.
Bye.
Bye, Kayla. All right,
Yeah,
I got the right.
If you want to know more about Kayla too, Joyo Kayla or Our Stories in Motion, and she did her first podcast with me and Karan this that aired this past Tuesday. So she talks all about what she's up to and the coaching she's done. So, and Patty also has interviewed her on the Youth Developer. So check her out.
Yeah, so that's her two Instagrams. What is the let's show everybody why don't you tell them a little bit about the Pirate Living podcast, my friend, and then I'll show I'll look this up. This is fun.
All right. Pirate Living Podcast is a podcast that my friend Karan and I do together, which Karan has also been on the Youth Developer. She works with women's health and hormones, and so she and I are interviewing people who the idea is we're interviewing ordinary people who are doing extraordinary things, because I've had so many people that I've been looking up to be like, oh, they're doing this really cool thing. And then I meet them in person, or I'll meet some of these people in person, and they're still really cool doing really cool things. And they're regular people, and now they're my friends, and I'm happy to have these people in my life. But yeah, when you sit down and talk with these people who are doing really cool things, you find out anybody can do what they're doing. It's taking the right steps to get there. So starting and continuing and getting those stories out of the way of I can't do this, or it's too hard, or that's not me. So that's fun. Where'd you find the reviews?
You have reviews on Apple Podcasts. Look at that. You got 3. Incredible show. Awesome interviewers bringing on real change makers and innovators of thought, language, and movement. Truly enlifted pirate queens. That is awesome. Then you have Leave the Navy. Be a pirate. Is this the first time you're reading this, Kristin?
I've seen 2 of them, but since I don't have a Mac, I'm unable to see it like that. That's cool.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. I love it. And Poppy likes it too. She gave you a shout out earlier.
Thanks, Poppy.
Yeah, so you got your first one, I believe, was Pirate Mark England.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Parker, who wrote the book Be More Pirate, is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. And what's her title in the Pirate website or movement? I think that's what they call it, right? Movement.
I call her the community coordinator. I don't know what title she's actually given herself for it, but she is the head of the community for Be More Pirate.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So this is a podcast. You're also on YouTube, which I will link that up in a second once we get to that screen. So because and you guys can see Kayla Becker. I know she came for 3 minutes, but get to know her. She's she's got a lot of views on YouTube for her podcast. I wanted to ask her a few questions. So Kayla, if you are watching the replay, I remember the questions, and you know what, Kristin, I agree with that review. You guys are great interviewers, and I love the questions that you ask. Very pirate questions, deep questions. So people could really get to know your audience. So kudos to you.
Thank you. I am going to put in a little asterisk, not a disclaimer, but it is a pirate podcast. So the guests will at times use language that is not everybody's a fan of. So,
Right.
so this is, let's say it's not kid friendly. However, like be aware there will be language in there at times. That you may or may not care if children hear or yourself hears. So
Yeah, it's true. It's true. These are amazing people who are doing amazing things in their communities.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll encourage some who may be, I don't know if the word's uncomfortable, push past that to really get to know the work behind it. And especially, I'll shoot it out, especially if you're a Christian. That they are doing great work to contribute to the new humanity, to God's plan. So if you are, and that does bother you, I'll encourage you to push past a little bit to get to know the heart behind and how they really do most of these pirates, I will say all of them, are here for healing. And they're amazing people. So I will add, like you said, disclosure plus encouragement. I hope that was encouraging.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Because and speaking of that, I am going to throw something in here. Come here, puppy. You want the world to see you? Come here. Come here. Yeah. I'm still gonna get her for Halloween. I'm gonna get her like a pirate little t-shirt. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Puppy Piratehood. Yeah. Puppy pirate? Yeah. Let me see. Oh, you're getting so big. Look at Kristin. Oh my goodness. You're messing up my hair. Yeah, so I want to give her like a little shirt with the pirate here. Okay, I'm so sorry. I know. I shouldn't be doing this. You're an animal, not a baby. I know. All right. Speaking of awesome people, Kristin, this afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific, correct? Yeah, 5 minus 3. I'm going to be premiering my interview with Ashley Mays. Yes. And she's a sex love communication coach. And so again, and this is most likely why I said the encouragement, because it could turn off some people if they're not aware, because you throw such a taboo word such as sex. Oh my goodness. And that's how it's God created it. And so, but it's a really cool interview because she does talk about, and I know she mentioned similar things in the podcast for Pirate Living, that she wants to bring education on communication and creating a space for the youth, right? And I get to also share some very vulnerable things about my upbringing and things that have happened because I didn't feel safe sharing with people. So it's a really good interview. And Poppy is crying because she wants me to show it. So you know what? I'm going to show it. I keep saying, show the preview, Patty. So that's going to premiere at 5 p.m. Eastern Time in the Youth Developer. Ashley saw some, and we'll tag her in here. So we're going to bring up a little snippet because I'm getting better at just like not giving the whole thing, right? But just grabbing the meat of it. And what she said, it's like perfect, right? So kudos to Ashley that we both know. Now where do I do this? Now I don't know where I put it in here. All right.
Well, Patty is bringing it up. I will say Ashley is looking to bring sex education in a new format into schools. So schools, many of us have grown up with that being like, that's where we learn about sex. Parents are thinking the school's going to teach, and schools are thinking the parents are going to teach, which has led to many children having no clue about sex. And then we're taught abstinence as to make up for that in a lot of circles as well. So she wants to reframe how we're talking about sex to children. So yeah,
that's a great word. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Reframing. The thing is, children, as most of you guys watching, whether Language Ninjas or the Youth Developer, we're curious by nature. That's in
Mhm.
it gets lost as we grow up, right? Because discouragement stories that we tell ourselves, but our nature is to be curious, right? To discover, to explore. And that's exactly what they're going to find out. If then they're not going to hear at your church or at home, guess what, my friend? They're going to talk about it in school, and you could shelter your child in a private school, in a Catholic school. It doesn't matter. Children are going to be children. And so anyway,
Yeah.
that's
Would you rather they find out from their friend who found out from a friend who may have heard something from their parents, or would you rather be the one, to talk about it with them so that they can be actually educated?
Exactly. Encouraging thing too. This weekend I was hanging out with. They were all moms except for me and Sally, and one of the moms shared that her son said, he said, "Mommy, my penis itches," and then somebody behind the line said, "That is the proper name."
Mhm.
Because and it's teaching children and understanding their anatomy, and
Mhm.
Ashley is going to discuss that too, and not call it something else because it's taboo. So I hope that those who are watching and listening from both our channels, again, we want to encourage you, push past either terms that you feel uncomfortable with, because I gotta say that for me, this is a new journey, because for the past 20 years, since I was 24, I thought it was taboo, right? I live or said, and you may know me, you watching, you like, Miss Patty, right? Because I'm Miss Patty from the YMCA. I would have never said those words out loud, right? And the thing is, like, that's actually sheltering. And one that we talked in the interview is that the best policy and procedure about safety is actually teaching children about boundaries. And when you're going to teach them about boundaries, you got to teach anatomy, and you got to teach communication. You know what? I feel very uncomfortable. No, you shouldn't have touched me here, teacher. Right?
Mhm.
See? Bobby gets upset. Let's not get fresh here.
Yeah.
She is going to work at
And
you.
And this is a conversation that can be had at any age. I actually had some students with my 5-year-olds that this was a necessary conversation to have, because I had students that were abused. And in
Mhm.
that, it was very important for us to have constant conversations about boundaries,
Yeah.
speaking to each other about our boundaries and what we felt comfortable with and uncomfortable with.
Mhm.
And like being open, like 5-year-olds are curious and they love to be in bubbles. So me as the adult too, being like, this is my body, this is my space, like
Yeah.
you need to ask permission. So putting that example out there for kids as well, so that they learn, and they have that mirror to start speaking into. I am uncomfortable. Poppy.
Sorry.
Poppy's uncomfortable too.
Poppy's very uncomfortable. Poppy, no. She gets a little territorial when somebody else who lives here comes. So yeah, Poppy does get upset when we cross boundaries. So Poppy, shh, good girl. All right, she calmed down. Yeah, no, thank you for bringing that up, and that's all in both your Pirate Living podcast and premiering today at 5 p.m. in the Youth Developer. So kudos, shout out to Ashley Mays.
Mhm.
I have the clip here. I finally got it up.
I got it.
That's Poppy's excitement. She's like, "You got the clip? That is wonderful news. You got the clip. I love it." All right, let's see how this works. And here we go. Let's see how this shows up.
Like we're saying, so, one, as parents or like a leader or guardian with the youth, it's there's going to be a moment when they're going to become curious about sex.
Yeah.
They're going to be, wanting to play and to explore. So as leaders in their lives, how can we better educate them? So then they have all the tools that they can have to make choices that honor them, and a part of this was, like for me growing up, it was very much don't do this, or, then education with school was like, here's a condom. That was basically it. And then I went to college and went on a rebellious little spree because I had a lot more freedom in college than I had when I was at home. I wasn't taught how to have those conversations. And then I ended up putting myself in some icky situations. And ultimately, I think about, being a parent or a guardian or a leader for children. We want them to be safe and want them to honor their bodies. So it's like, what's holding us back as adults to have this conversation? Where our fear? What are we uncomfortable about? So first, I think about it as as leaders, it's like, where's your story around sex?
All right. So many things that she said there. Very, very key. So I believe in God's perfect timing. So there was I was behind in my editing, and getting Poppy's been adjusting to that. And Ashley's also been in the Highly Optimized podcast. And I really hope, my prayer and hope is that this is that we're kicking off this week, starting conversations, because, and what I do share, which I'm not going to share here because I want you to go and watch it, right? Because these are very real things that I'm actually very passionate about that. I respect Ashley for taking that step to talk about taboo and as a way to educate and to challenge. And I love how she said it, because she said leaders, and that's who we are, right? As parents, people working with the youth, we're leading, they're watching.
Yeah, they're learning from us from the very beginning. That's all they want to do, is be just like us. So
exactly.
What as that leader, who do you want to be for them?
Yeah. And so if you are uncomfortable with that, Ashley's there to provide those services. We're here to provide those services. That's what we are. We are also story work language coaches. And so it's important that we collaborate, right? And I'm very grateful that I have someone that I could send people to as well, right? And vice versa, right? So we do have a very strong community. So I'm very grateful for that. So yeah, and the Poppy calmed down. There was a lot of excitement. My mom's coming in, from groceries. This one's like, you got me food. Oh my goodness. So it's learning about that. And in the middle of the excitement, guess what I threw out? So I don't have it. Kristin, I don't know if you could pull it up. We could go right into our question with Jeffrey Gitomer.
Yeah.
But I do not, and I also have, let me take this out. How do I stop share? Okay. Still learning. Remove from studio. There we go. I want to share, and I didn't watch the whole thing. We're probably most likely not going to watch the whole thing, but I do want to share this with you because it was so funny, Kristin, because I want to propose a few things that we have in our show. And let's see, how do we do this? Oh, dang it, I did it in the wrong place. Let's copy and paste.
I'm in charge now. There's no more Patty here. It is only me. Patty and Poppy have left. We are still live. Let's see.
This is not our first rodeo. But at least you were live, and that's awesome. And that's what matters, and I love it. All right, guys, I do have it. I have it up now. We want to show you where this whole thing, Patty and Kristin in the morning, comes, and this is really for fun. Before we get to Jeffrey Gitomer, because I actually won this, and I'm really excited. All right, let's see how this comes up. What do you see?
I see Troy and Abed.
All right, here we go.
I really appreciate you.
All right. Oh, it's the wrong one. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Okay. Boom, boom.
Really appreciate you doing this. And 3, 2, 1. Troy and Abed in the morning, and we're back. Look who's here, Jeff Winger. Jeff, how do you stay so fit?
Diet, exercise, genetics.
Sure. Okay, so it seems as though we have a clip.
Okay, so one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, Kristin, what are they holding in their hands?
They're holding mugs.
With
with their picture.
So can we make that happen? Because that would be so cool.
You know that I have a place where all I need is a graphic, and I can easily upload it and put it on a t-shirt, a mug, a button, a tote, a pillow.
Let's
all
do
I
it.
need to do is have the graphics.
So I got Canva. I did the Premiere one. I'm paying for the Pro. So I'll be happy to come up with the design, and I'll send it to you.
Yeah. Just yeah, I'll decide if it goes under the Language Ninjas or the Pirate Living one, either one. But I have a store for this.
Yes, I thought it was cool. What are some other things you notice in here? Oh, Poppy, come here.
Well, they're wearing mics. They have on ties.
Yeah, right. I love that they're trying to go for the morning show with the people, like New York City.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, I have a window right there.
You're gonna have to go stand outside it.
And when we do this show together, I know we were scheduled to do this at the lake house, and I wasn't there. That could have been an opportunity to have people with signs in there. But anyway, all right. So that is where the inspiration came from. It's their name is Troy and Abed in the morning. So the whole I think ours is a bit cooler. What do you think, Kristin? What are your thoughts on that? Yeah,
the afternoon edition.
And I love the way you say it too. I love it. All right. I don't know if Jimmy's out of the shower. I'm getting a little distracted with the Poppy crying in here in the back. We have Jimmy who made a video about this. However, I'm having some technical difficulties putting it in here. And I know he will come soon. So shall we get the question of the day?
We shall.
All right. Do you have that in your website? It looks like you do, right?
What do you want? The random number random number generator? All right. So it has one at the top, but I'm going to hit that blue button. So it's going to generate between 1 and 100.
Woo-hoo!
And our number is 74.
74. Let's see. Teach something that you're an expert at. Ooh.
Something you're an expert at.
An expert. I don't, I had a conversation today and someone told me that I was an expert in something. Or what did he say? More than, it's like, what's the word he used? I want to say he said expert. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said either that or excellent. And I heard expert. I don't know. But it's what he said is reframing solutions.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, I do have a show that's going to come up in a half hour, Failing Forward Fridays. And I do see failure as a great thing. Okay, goodness. Yes, Jimmy's here to take the poppy. Thank you. So yeah, an expert. And I, for a long time, as you know, and some of the people here in the Youth Developer know, so I've been in both after school and summer camp director for WISE and other nonprofits. CCNY, I'll give you a shout out. Yes. And it's interesting because a lot of people believe that like talent is like this thing that you're born with. And the reason why he said that, it's and it reminded me that it's because I've been put in situations, because when you're a community leader, right? So in after school program, I got to deal with principals, their assistant principal, all the admin plus teachers. Then I had my own staff to deal with, like my own parent coordinator, my own educational coordinator, my leaders, my line staff, right? Leadership team, line staff. Then I had parents, right? And the community outside. And then I had a supervisor, and then the whole YMCA executives behind me. So here I was in the middle, and here's everybody I had to, in other words, like report to, in a sense of like, what are you doing with this program? What are you doing with, $500,000 contract? Like, or sorry, they don't call it contracts. What do they call it? Budget, right? In nonprofit world. And so what he said, it was like reframing, a problem or into a solution was something that I constantly did. So it's most likely I was told that because I was put in situations, and not all of them were pretty, Kristin. This is the one I'm sharing at 1:00. Yeah, I'll share it with you guys. Why not? So I've had programs closed down because of license, right? Like a Department of Health. And, I was like I was hired 2 weeks before the program starts, which is crazy. To have that site was 200 kids. I got 2 weeks to open it. I'm in a totally new brand neighborhood. And so I have 0 staff. I'm supposed to hire, have a program, like a theme, because that's what the executives are saying. And then all the licensing stuff. I didn't put a lot of attention on the actual license. I had put it on, but I wasn't pushy on, because then you have to deal with Department of Health. Oh, I didn't mention the other side. And so I dropped the ball on that one so I could actually have staff and open up. And yeah, they came over and said, you got to shut it down. And you got to go and tell your community there will be no after school program. What happens? Like, it's not just like not doing something in my to-do list. That not pushing hard on this license or certificate, I had to make parents basically look for babysitting, get out of their jobs early. It created a mess, which I took care of. I still remember going to Brooklyn and like having the same speech. Like, I have parents, kids will be in the streets, right? Like, that was my thing. So, but it took all these failures or these lessons on like priorities, and especially as an administrator. I don't know if you have this before. Most people think, people that work with the youth, they're just like good at it. You got to have your admin part, even as teachers. Like, every level, you have to, you get to be disciplined, and you get to have a routine and a schedule that's so tight. Like, admin comes with making a difference. You got to have those 2 legs. Those 2 legs got to be there. Like, if you're like, oh, I love people. I used to tell people when I will do interviews, 3 P's: persistent, professional, and passionate. But they go in that order. Passionate is third. Because, of course, I want you passionate. But if you're not professional and, persistent in the schedule and something that you're doing, you can have a great class. You don't have to follow a policy. If a child's missing, I don't care about your lesson plan. I could care less that you're passionate. you don't have a head count. You don't tell me you have 10 kids, or like, if you don't know your head or your face countdown when I come in a classroom, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter how amazing you can be. So I really do feel like in the school system, we get that like all scramble up, right? We think like, oh, we get to focus on something and we forget the admin part. And I'm an administrator at heart by training. That's not my nature. My nature is yes, I'm type A personality, but I've learned to really be tight on these things because it hurt. It hurt. And not only me, but it hurt communities. So I would say that reframing things has come from that. So I don't know if I answer that, because people usually, I know I used to think talent, right? I used to think expert was talent, like singing, like dancing, or sports. There's so much more things that you could be an expert at. So yeah, sorry, I'm thirsty, so I definitely talked a lot.
I had a lot of those things with admin too, so I feel many of those things because coming from teacher admin, I more or less got thrown into a director role without being a director. So I get it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about you, my friend? What's out there for you? I mean, I could tell you what I think you're an expert at, but the question was for you.
I'm gonna go with expert in working with the kids in getting them to reframe kids, and I'm going to go with parents too. Adults, getting them to reframe their words with the youth, and then getting the youth to reframe the way they're saying things. So as a teacher, especially with 5-year-olds, 5-year-olds are, I dearly love them. And, and they're at a very unique place in life where they're like, they look at 4-year-olds and under as babies. They're like, I'm grown up, I'm big. But then you have all these other kids that are way bigger than them and can do all these cool things. So they're like, I'm not a baby and I want to be just like them. So they get easily frustrated when they're still learning. There's a lot of, I can't do this. Or like, this is too hard, or sometimes even I'm too little. And that I've heard more as an excuse to get out of something. But in that,
adults too.
With that though, when I started working with the kids in my class to help them, give them the courage to try and gain their independence, they started to blossom and they got excited with themselves. So an expert in working on changing those stories and helping kids gain their own independence to get confidence in themselves. And where that starts is with the adult. So the adults need to also have that belief that I can, and that it's possible, and the ability to stop and take a breath. So that is where the adults are very important in helping reframe the words for the kids.
Yeah, that's cool. That will be definitely for both of us, reframing or translating. This is in our community what we say. I like reframe too a lot. So yeah, so I love it. We both use that word because I hope that, because I read the thing, it says teach something. So for you listener out there, right? Reframing, whether it's solution or words that Kristin talked about, you could do it any moment, as in like even right now, to stop, take a deep breath, like belly in, and then like as you inhale, belly expands. As you exhale, belly contracts. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
And yeah, and then especially if you go, I don't have any talents. Let's throw that one in, right? Translation, that's the term, what we call it, it's a negation, right? Focusing on what you can, won't, shouldn't, right? And say, I do have a talent, or I can have a talent, or I can't develop a talent. And I know that's we're sharing that these things can be developed, right? And over time, and through failing, and I hope I see you guys in Instagram if you're on Instagram. Yeah, it's failing forward that. And then the book, what is the name of the Talent Code? Have you read that?
Not yet.
Oh, yes. Oh, when you read it, would you come on my IG live to talk about that? Because
it's underneath my coffee table behind me as one of my books to read. So I need a new one. I just finished a book. I can pull it out. I will pull it out.
You get to read it. Woo! You know what? That's going to be a cover. You want to pull it up? Let's take a picture with it.
All right. I'll be right back.
It's called Accountability. I love it. Okay. I want to go back to our shows to watch some of the replays. I only did for the first two. Okay, here we go. Hold on. 1, 2, and 3. Yes.
Very fun.
Very cool. Yeah. Shout out to Superhawk. It's on Instagram. She loves that book, and we wanted to do like a book club, but we were talking about that, and so the IG live, it's also inspired by that, and I'm not sure if you watch any of them, but I kicked off with my dad's story, which I believe I shared it in this channel before. So go to IG if you want to see it, but yeah, it's like and another thing that really inspired me, it's the Olympics and seeing the pressure that we put in athletes. I'm sorry, the athletes puts on themselves, right? To be a GOAT, the greatest of all time. And instead focusing on the best you could be at this time, like this year at that event, and seeing what you could learn from that experience, right? Reframing that, changing your perspective on it, and what Kristin said, changing your language, right? I did my best. Do you know that comedian? There's a comedian that, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have it ready for the next one. Because when I first when I knew I liked Jimmy, back when we were friends, I remember like thinking, it's like, man, Jimmy's really funny, right? Like I'm like literally having like the time of my life. He's really hysterical. I'm gonna put it here. I did my best, but one of the things that was like hysterical, and then like at the same time, like, oh, like we all suffer from this thing that we all want to really do our best regardless. It just shows up differently for everybody, right? Some people could be very aggressive, and some people could withdraw when we're not being our best. And when Jimmy joked about it, I did pause for a second, like, yeah. And because I love people who want to give it 110%. Like that to me, like excellence, it's something that that's why I'm hanging out with you, right? Like, I hang out with you, I hang out with Kat, because we absolutely want to give 110. Like, another soul, Ryan Spruck, which his interview is going to premiere the following Friday. I'm in the middle of that editing. He's excellent. Like his intros, which I'm going to give you another shout out. Your guys' intros on Pirate Living. Yes. And you're doing it live on TV, like with the video, which is really cool. Yeah. You guys are taking that to the next level. I love it. Yeah. So anyway, so there are many coaches, but like showing up to the microphone, right? From, what's the difference between a professional and amateur? I used to say professionals get paid, and I've reshifted that or reframed that into professionals practice, right? Practice and prepared. And this is something, and I know we're doing this. I love coming in and sharing this with you. And we both have separate shows that we actually prepare. We prepare for those.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's not like, oh, come and talk to us. Like, we did with Kayla today. It was like, on the spot. But I love that there's work. That's why I'm mentioning Ryan, because Ryan does his research. Like, when I got his podcast, I was like, did you go to my website? He's like, yeah, I went to your website. Like, I got to know you so I could talk about you. And I was like, that's legit. Very, very legit. I love it. Kristin, it's such a pleasure always like talking to you.
Yes, lots of fun.
I have embraced my fun and funny Patty. I didn't negation acknowledge. I didn't take that as a compliment back in the day. And not at all. And especially when I was dating Jimmy, I was like, what are my best qualities? He's like, you're entertaining. I was like, that's it? Entertaining? Like, you're dating me because I'm entertaining? He's like, go ask your friends. So I was like, okay, I will do that. Challenge accepted. So my roommate, I was like, Victoria, 2 best qualities. She goes, fun and funny. Okay. Equals entertaining. Okay, whatever. I go downstairs to my neighbor who we always hung out, and she goes, backwards, you're funny and fun. And I'm like, I give up. And it's only until very recently that I'm embracing that. Because I don't know about you. Oh, somebody just gave me a heart. Or you, who knows? us, a heart. And I will look at that and be like, I want to be known as someone wise. And I love our coaching style because it's zero advice and it's all about trusting the process. Because at the end of the day, advice is advice, right? And so anyway, so I'm embracing this fun and funny because if you go back to my first video, one of my first video on special nutritional therapy, I'm like speaking super slow. I'm talking about the benefits of water and like this weird pace. And then I have another one, which I'm like normal Patty pace. And like the views are very drastically different. And I felt different. And so, yeah, so it's learning and embracing that. So we did it, Kristin Joy Davis. Thank you for joining us in our live. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for those who watched the replay. Please drop a comment. Teach us something you're an expert at. I hope it's like, I hope that we helped you guys to remind us how we could reframe things. And we're very grateful that you tune in for today's show.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was able to pull it up and then it just like left. I had Jimmy till next time. Jimmy and the guitar, because you know what? I think I could do it like this. We'll see. Let's see. Kristin, what are you up to this lovely afternoon? Or I'm sorry, it's morning in your time.
It is still. Well, it may rain. So looking forward to a cozy, cool day because it's we had one day where we had like very fine rain in the air and one day where it actually somewhat rained for about 15 minutes. But other than that, we haven't had rain since before Memorial Day. So it will be very nice if we can get something to give the earth some refreshment.
Yeah, I thought it would like Portland was like rain all the time. Not true. When I was there, it was like sunny for a couple of days. So shout out to all the Portlandia folks. All right, no, not able to pull that up. No. That's good. Until next time.
Next time. Head over to IG. Go see Patty in 10 minutes.
10 minutes. About Failing Forward Friday. Kristin, I love you. I will see you next Friday.
All right.
And podcast.